Hi angels, in today's episode I want to share with you so many lessons and wisdom that has just come from my Bali retreat last week. Lessons on surrender, lessons on trust, lessons on the powerful signs that come through when you let go of the crazy story of a Balinese healer that I went and saw, and having to just get so completely vulnerable and exposed and completely surrender into the wisdom that come through in that healing session. Bit of a funny story, but I think you'll get a lot out of this episode. I think you are going to love it, so I know you will. You'll take one thing away. Let's dive in. Hello, my beautiful friends. It is so nice to be back with you guys. I have just gotten back from Bali, spending almost 2 weeks in Bali. I had a week on retreat with my beautiful angels, and then I met my husband afterwards at Seminyak and spent quite 5 more nights with him, and just got back, and it's been raining like the whole time I've been back. And I'm recording down on my jetty today. I haven't been down here for 3 days. There's been so much rain, and it just felt so nice to just come down here and have a chat with you guys down in my happy place, down in my calm zen zone, and get back into the podcast. It's been a couple of weeks, and I have so much to share with you. I have so much insight that's come through from my time in Bali with the girls for myself that I had to jump on and share, because I've actually had quite a lot of lessons and quite a lot of wisdom has come through, a lot of shifts, and this is what I love sharing with you guys. I might talk about my own experience, but this is not about me. This is about, I teach from experience, I share from experience, and this is about you. And I know a lot of women message me or tell me, like, I love the way you share your lessons in your own way, because I take something out of it, your podcast, every single episode, which is amazing. So that's the way I really love to teach and share. So take out of this what you will, take out of this what you need, even if it's one thing that you walk away with. That is amazing. My job is done, and I'm very, very happy. Well, it's been an incredible journey in Ubud. I have people say, don't you get sick of going? I'm like, nope. Every single time I go to Bali, I take away something new. And one of the girls said to me on retreat, they said, what's your favorite thing about retreat? And I said, watching it through your eyes, like watching the girls experience is my biggest takeaway, my biggest highlight, my biggest love is seeing the transformation or the impact that the retreat has on you. But even one of my clients said to me, we were at the waterfall cleansing ceremony. I've done a few cleansing ceremonies, and this would be my absolute favorite. And we're going to go down in these waterfalls and through caves. And one of the girls said to me, she goes, I was watching you, and she said, it looked like you were walking through there for the very first time. The curiosity, the touching, the awe in your eyes. She said it was like you've never been here before. And that's the way I love to look at life, or look at experiences, is even though you've done it before, look at it through a new lens, because every time you do something, you've shifted, you've grown, you've evolved, something's happened to you, where if you look at it through the lens of imagining it like it's your first time and just taking in the beauty like it's your first time you've been there, the whole experience can be magical and powerful for you all over again. So everything's in your attitude, everything's in your perspective, the way you embrace things, the way you show up for things. And every time I go back to Bali, I look forward to like a reset for myself, and a reset for my energy, and a reset for just that physical part of me, that mental, that emotional, that spiritual part of me. As I am taking you guys through the journey, I am gaining as well, because we're all mirrors. We all learn from each other. And I find when I embody this way of curiosity, this way of learning and opening my eyes again, it's like every time I go back, my eyes are opening, I'm awakening more and more, right? Like my eyes are opening more and more. I'm seeing things that maybe I've never seen before, and the universe is presenting me with different things. And every woman that goes on this retreat has a story. Every woman has a reason. Every woman has their own journey, and my job is to help you unpack what you need, to help you shift what you need to shift, heal what you need to heal, nourish you in the way that you need nourishing. Even one of my clients on this retreat, very high successful businesswoman, she said, I run retreats, and I was saying to one of the other girls who is also another successful businesswoman, she goes, I don't know how Lisa is doing this. She said the way, she goes, I'm wrecked after 2 or 3 days on retreat. I've never done a week. I don't know how you're holding space for this retreat for the whole week, and your energy is amazing. You're happy, you are embodied, your energy is just so full for all of us, and it's a very big space to hold for a very long time. I don't know how you do it. And I've learned to protect my energy. I've learned to, when I go in service mode, I am there in service mode for you guys, but also I know how to fill my cup up, and I know how to protect my energy, and I know how to do a lot of these spiritual tools that I teach you guys in my podcast, on the mat, on retreat, in my inner circle coaching program. And that is what I really love doing, is sharing and teaching how you can have your best energy, and how you can embody the fullness of life, and how you can heal yourself, that we can do these things ourselves, that we don't always need to go to other people, equipping you with the tools. And that's what my retreats are for, is for you to come along, and I want you to walk away that you have learnt something that can help you in everyday life. So I'm getting the girls to do spiritual rituals and tools that I know are going to form part of a toolkit that is going to help them navigate through their life. And I'll give you an example. On one particular morning, I had a morning where I guess I walked into the practice. So we have this morning practice where it's kind of, think like a combination of yoga. I don't even like to call it yoga. It's intuitive movement, because I'm teaching the girls how to move in a way that shifts energy through their body. So some days people are doing the practice. Some days people go, I'm just so wrecked, I just need to lay in Shavasana. I'm like, great. So they might be lying in Shavasana. Somebody else might be going through a flow. Somebody else might just be stretching in their own unique way to shift energy through the body. Because my goal is to help impart wisdom in you, so you get so connected with yourself that you know what your body needs, and how to shift the energy of what we're moving through retreat through your body to help clear it, to help restore you. And so in this particular practice, the girls are doing their own thing. So we have like the physical practice, think like women's circle, journaling, spiritual tools, all rolled in meditation, breath, all rolled into one kind of 2-hour practice of a morning. First thing, we have silence before we get started, which is amazing. It really helps you connect in. And in this one particular morning, I've rocked up to practice. I'm there 2 hours before the girls. I'm up really early, and I'm setting up, and I just had a blank. Like, I had an idea of what I wanted to teach. I just got this wisdom that come through that said, teach G in your angels framework, which is guidance. So today we've gone through a lot of cleansing and renewing and awareness at the beginning, a lot of like nourishment and self-care. And I kind of got to this midweek, and it was like, teach G, which is all around guidance, how to teach the women how to connect into their guidance. I got nothing. That was it. So I felt like I was going in with no plan. And I like to have a bit of a plan, but I also like to have this bit of the intuition that flows through me and what we need to open up that particular day, right? And imagine, like, I had one of the girls say to me, she's about to move house, and she said, I just can't think past the move. We've been so busy and I cannot think anything past, I got a wall past the move. And so that is how I was when I walked into this particular practice. Sometimes you go, I just can't think past my holiday, or I just can't think past this particular event. That's all I've got the capacity to see. And after that, things will open up. So I've gone into practice this particular day, and I could not see anything past G. And I'm like, shit, the girls are coming up in 10 minutes. And I to at least just surrender. You know what to do. It'll all come to you when everyone comes in and starts moving. So, which for some people would freak you out, right? If you go, I don't have my class planned or I don't have my practice planned, but I got an idea of what to do and I'm just going to roll with that. And that is a way of surrender, just surrendering to, I trust that guidance will come through and pour through me as I go. So I've just completely surrendered and went, oh, well, the universe will give me the answers as the girls come in and we get going. So anyway, they come in and I got them we went into a bit of a meditation and I taught them how to connect into their intuitive guidance, right? And how to open them up. And this Reiki, I've got the inkling to go, or the nudge to go and Reiki the girls while they're in meditation and help open up their crown and their third eye. So I'm kind of going around the room going, this is amazing. I can feel energy pouring through me. I can feel energy pouring through the girls. And as I'm going around, I'm Reikiing. All the girls are in meditation. I'm behind them doing Reiki on each of them. I get almost to the end and I can just feel so much power in the room, and I look up and the villa opens up. This is upstairs. We've got a beautiful big villa upstairs, a yoga room, and it looks down over the pool, over the jungle ravine, and you have the morning sun coming up. All of a sudden I caught a glimmer of a whole sea of dragonflies, there was just so many dragonflies all around. I've never seen that before. I've never seen so many. And I said to the girls, I Reiki'd the last girl, and I said, open your eyes for a minute. And they sat there in so much wonder going, oh my goodness. And I said, come and stand up. Let's stand up and line up along the edge of the yoga floor. And we all stood there. We had our hands out open to receive. And we stood there, the sun's rays were pouring in, there were dragonflies everywhere. The girls were like, this is magnificent. I've never seen anything like that. And as they're standing there taking it all in, because I'd open them up to tap into whether it was their spirit team, their spirit guides, their higher, like their past loved ones, their God source universe, whatever it is that aligns for them. And it's like we got this confirmation for the universe has sent us this sign of all the dragonflies, showing us the power in the room of all the energy, showing us the magic that lies within when we connect in with our spiritual essence, and showing us evidence of this guidance that has come through. It was just spectacular. And in that moment, after that, then all this wisdom poured through. Okay, do this with the girls, do that with the girls. And it was all coming through spontaneously. It was all coming through like this beautiful, you just can't make it up. I did not script it. I did not plan it, but it's like the universe gave me all the answers along the way and gave us the magic along the way. And that's the power in surrendering. That's the power in letting go and just trusting that things will come to you, and trusting that you don't have to know all the answers all the time. And once I stepped through that block of, I don't know what to do, it's like this big doorway opened up, and then all this wisdom poured through of this is what you need to do with the girls, move them this way. And we just had the most magical experience. I took them through some other spiritual tools, and the girls walked out and said, that was the most powerful session ever. That was just magic. And I'm like, I didn't plan that. And I shared with them what I'm sharing with you. There's an eagle circling overhead at the moment as I'm sharing this. Just another form of communication, another form of reassurance, another form of just this evidence you're on the right track. So I wanted to open up with that to let you know sometimes you don't know all the answers, and sometimes you don't know the next step. But when you surrender and you trust that there's bigger guidance out there supporting you along the way, what if it turns out better than you expected? And that's how I guess this retreat unfolded. Because if I'm perfectly honest with you, like, I got to the end of the retreat and it just felt incredible. It felt like everything unfolded the way it was meant to. And I had challenges along the way, if I'm perfectly honest. I had I did one-on-one Reiki with the girls that wanted to, and one of the girls said to me, she said, I've done Reiki before, I've done all sorts of energetic healing. She said, and I'm not saying this like to brag or anything, she said, that's the most powerful Reiki healing session I have ever had. And if I'm perfectly honest with you guys, like, this is all fairly new to me. I know that I've got healing energy in my hands. I know I felt that for a long time before I got attuned with Reiki. And I had this, I guess, this feeling, I know my capabilities, I know I trust myself, but also this bit of self-doubt, as in, Lise, you've only just been attuned in Reiki, like, is it going to be good enough? And I was honestly a little bit nervous going into retreat, because how this retreat unfolded was very different to how I thought it was going to be 6 months ago. And I'll speak the honest truth here. Go back 6 months ago. I've been running retreats before COVID in Bali by myself. And 2 retreats ago, one of my good friends, she's an energy healer, psychic medium, beautiful, beautiful woman. And she came along on one of my retreats, and then we decided to there were some retreats together. We did the last retreat together, which was great. And then we had planned to do this year's retreats together as well. And go back just after last year's retreat, she messages me and said, I don't want to do the retreats anymore. And it felt like a kick in the guts. It felt like, oh my goodness, what? This was not the plan. This was definitely not the plan. And we'd worked out the rooms, the way that we were going to do it. We were sharing a room. All the rooms everything was all kind of planned out. And she had said to me, so last retreat that we did together, she did one-on-one healing sessions with the girls. And she said to me, next retreat, you'll be doing them on your own. And I kind of sat in that fear a little bit and thought, well, she's better than me. What if I let the girls down? What if I don't do a good enough job? I don't know if I can. Maybe she should stick doing the one-on-one healing treatments. And a lot of self-doubt crept in and a lot of fears crept in. And then the way it unfolded was, she messaged me just after last year's retreat. So we had 2 planned this year. And she said, I don't want to do the retreats anymore with you. And I was so upset. And I was literally, what am I going to tell the girls? I don't know what to do. She said, I'll honor next year's retreats, but after that, no, I'm going to do my own. And she hadn't done retreats before. These were the first ones that she'd done. And I was kind of feeling, I guess, a bit let down, a bit upset, a bit angry. All of those emotions were coming through me at the end of last year. And when she messaged me this, and I sat with it, and I actually said to her, I said, no, don't worry about next year. I'll do them myself, because I'd done them myself before. But there was a big part of me that felt like, I said to her, I don't feel it's right. You do these 2, and then all the marketing, everything that we do, you're going to be in them. And then I'm going to have to turn around in 2027 and go, sorry, girls, she's not here anymore, and feel like I've kind of let people down. And I said to her, you know what? Don't worry about next year, because all of my community was coming anyway. The goal was we were going to kind of maybe, I'll bring half people, she'll bring half people, and we'll run them together. And as the way this retreat unfolded, it was literally all my community. So I was kind of sitting in that little bit of frustration, that little bit of anger, that little bit of, now what am I going to tell the girls? Like, what am I going to tell the girls that she's not coming? Because all of my worth was wrapped up in what she brought to the table. There were doubts that I was carrying myself. And then I felt like I'd let my community down by, her not coming anymore. She was going through a lot of her own personal things as well. So they just didn't align. And it was also challenging running the retreat together. If I'm perfectly honest, go back the last retreat last year, we had an amazing, amazing experience together. But it was also that little bit of treading on eggshells, I guess, because she'd stepped into my retreat. I was trying to make sure she was happy. We kind of didn't have the freedom to just, I guess, do what we both wanted to do. And I felt like this feeling of, I've got myself back into this retreat, but also this feeling of, I was worried about letting my girls down, because this retreat, they knew that she was coming, right? And so I had to sit with that, and I looked at it. This was at the end of last year when I was sitting in the challenge, I was sitting in the funk, I was sitting in the emotion, and I was sitting with Lise, why did you decide to do these retreats together anyway? You've been doing them by yourself for such a long time. And I thought deeply about it, and I felt like she could bring something to the table that I didn't have within myself. And you know what? It was always in myself, but I didn't see it. I didn't see the worth. And I looked at outsiders, and you might find this too, where you feel like other people are better than you. You feel like other people can bring more value than what you can. You feel like other people can fill a void that you don't have. You feel like other people, you doubt on yourself because you feel other people are better. When those other people aren't around and you are forced into a situation, or you step into a situation and you do something independently, it's amazing the power that rises up within you. It's amazing the strengths, the talents, the abilities that come out because you've opened them up within yourself, or you've had no choice but to step into them. And that's what I found unfolded in this retreat. I found that even though there was the challenge, there was the obstacle, there was the emotion, what also unfolded was one girl who was in a single room that I usually stay in. She cancelled on the retreat, so all the rooms lined back up because I could go back into that room. And if I look back at the thick of it, back last year when she said she wasn't coming anymore, it felt like a mess. It felt like I was so overcome with emotion and challenge. But then as it unfolded, and I just finished up at this retreat now, I look back and I go, thank you for the way it unfolded. But when you're in the thick of a challenge or an obstacle, or you can't see through it, or you're frustrated or you're emotional, when you ride that out and you ride through the storm and you get to the other end, sometimes these things happen, these challenges happen for you to step into your power, for you to rise up, for you to be the person that you were always meant to be. For you, there is a lesson, but there is a win and there is a celebration in every situation. And that's what I found coming out of this retreat. The girls said to me, because I shared this with a couple of the girls on the retreat, and she said, a couple of the girls, like, at least we come for you anyway. Like we didn't even feel like let down. It was all the worry that was in my head, and it was all the fears that were in my head, that it didn't really impact the girls at all. And why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because when you go through challenging times, or when you come out the other side, you grow from these situations, you evolve from things, you become a stronger, more empowered, more confident version of you. And challenges happen to course correct you. Challenges can happen because the universe is saying, this is what you're capable of. You're not doing it yourself. So I'm going to kind of put a little bit of pressure and force you into the situation. And I got forced into, doing all of the one-on-one healing sessions myself, and doing things that I felt like somebody else did a better job than me. And when I actually stood up and did it, the girls said to me, they said, that was the most powerful Reiki session I have ever had. And I just had to surrender and let go and trust. And in hindsight, when I look back, I go, thank you, universe. I got to the end of the retreat and I went, thank you, universe, for the way things unfolded. Thank you for showing me my power. Thank you for helping me reach my potential, that I probably would have stayed safe. I probably would have stayed small. I probably would have let somebody else do it because I doubted myself. And if I look at a lot of maybe people I've worked with, or collaborations I've had, or things along the way, I looked at all of these women that I had worked with, or I had been in, I look at them and I go, I learned from them, and I saw things in them that I didn't see in myself at the time. But when I stepped back, or when I was forced into a situation to do it on my own, I opened these talents, or these abilities, or these strengths, or these, I guess, these things that had lied dormant in me for such a long time, that the universe knew that was there, my higher self knew that was there, but I didn't know it was there. So we can open up things in ourselves when we get out of our own way, girls, when we rise up to a challenge, when we do something difficult, when we're faced with a hard lesson. Things are happening for you and not to you. And I walked away from retreat and went, that was the most incredible experience. I can see my potential now, and I know what I can bring to the table moving forward. And I really wanted to leave that with you because I honestly feel that we all have so many deeper, you have a knowing, right? You have something deep within you that you know you are capable of, but you are scared. Or you have something deep within you that you know is dying to come out, but you don't know where to start. I want to tell you, start. Do the thing, try the thing, face your challenge, face your fear, because what lies on the other side is magnificent, girls. What lies on the other side is like these rays of sunshine that are hidden behind the clouds. They're always there. The sun is always shining. It's always there. The clouds block it. Your perspective blocks it. And when that shifts, when that moves, you open up into the most beautiful, radiant being that is always there, dying on the inside to come out. And that is what I want for you. So I wanted to leave that with you and share a couple of other amazing lessons from the last retreat. So at the end of the retreat, I had a feeling that I wanted to go and see a Balinese healer or a shaman. I just had this calling to, and I didn't know what to expect. And my friend that owns the villa, she said, I've heard this guy, Kutut, is really great. I haven't seen him personally, but I know people that have. I know him, I've met him, but I've never had a healing session with him, so I don't know what it's going to be like. So I looked him up on Instagram, I connected with him on WhatsApp, and I had this calling. I was tossing up between him and another guy, and the other guy was more, I guess, like a shaman priest. And this healer kept calling to me, and I didn't know why I needed to go and see a healer. I just felt like I needed to end retreat with a release, an experience, a shift. And I got scared, if I'm honest. I got to the end of retreat and I'm like, I don't know if I should message him. And then at least I saw something on his Facebook, on his Instagram, story pop up, and it had 44 in it. And I went, okay, that's a sign. Just go and see him. So I contacted him and he had availability on the Friday. So I got my friend who works at the villa to take me on his scooter, and we rocked up to, it was at his house. So the Balinese live in like compounds where there's lots of different family houses on the compound. And as I walked into his room, I felt like I looked at all the stuff around, all of the instruments, all of the things that he had, some of the masks that he had. And I honestly felt like a bit intimidated, a bit nervous, a bit, I guess, like, what am I in for? I don't know what to expect. And I had a bit of a chat with him and he said, why are you here? And I said, honestly, I don't know. And I felt that, I said, I feel like I've got these abilities in me that I want you to help open up in me a little bit more. Like, I've got healing hands. I know, because women have told me all the time, even before I had my Reiki done, I feel the energy pour out of your hands. And I said, I want you to help me open that up. And he said, oh, well, you just heal me then. And he laughed, and he was so funny. He was quite relatable, he'd be maybe, I don't know, in his 60s. He would say like the F word. He was just so funny, such a character. And he felt at ease, but I still felt this like walls come up of blocks of fear. And we started talking and he kind of opened up and I'm like, this guy knows stuff. Like, he's quite psychic, intuitive medium. And then he said to me, lay down. All I knew, right, going in was that he did healing massage. Like, he shifted energy through your body with healing massage. So I'm kind of envisioning, like he'll have these nice hands, like nice shifting energy out of my body. It'll be beautiful. It'll be kind of, soft. Anyway, I lay down. He said, strip down to your underwear. He didn't say it like that, but, get down to your underwear and just lay down on the bed. And I'll start with the massage. And I'm like, okay. And so all I wear is a G-string. I don't wear bras. And I'm like, shit, because he doesn't put a towel over you or anything. So I felt quite vulnerable. And I'm laying on my belly just in a G-string. And then I feel like this splash of oil, not like, gentle massage oil, like he squirted a sauce bottle all over me of oil. There was oil splashing everywhere. And then I felt something else splash on me and I'm smelling it. I'm like, that smells like vinegar. And I said, what's that? And he goes, that's vinegar. He goes, haha, I'm going to cook you. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, what am I in for? And like, I felt safe. I know that spirit wouldn't have guided me there if I didn't need to be there. And he starts massaging me and it's rough, like on my shoulders, like really rough, like he's shaking something out of me. And he goes throughout this massage and I'm like, holy shit, like what is happening? It was rough. He was poking, he was prodding, like as he's massaging, he's like massaging and then going, like he's releasing energy through me, or he'll like massage and go like a cough, like he's releasing, channeling stuff through him and pouring it out and releasing it. He gets to my feet and he has like this instrument. I don't know, it felt like some kind of stick instrument, and he's like wedging it between my toes and like circling it around, and like it was rough. It was so rough. And then he's poking it in like pressure points in the bottom of my feet. My legs are kind of shooting up. Like, this was not a massage where you lay still. My legs are moving. I'm like, holy shit, I need to get out of, Lise, what have you signed up for? What are you doing here? I need to get out of here. These were the thoughts that were going through my head, because it was actually quite strong, and there was points that it was quite painful, but it was like that release. After he released the pain point, you kind of feel like, that feels good. So he was like releasing, and then I had to roll over, and as I'm laying on my back, like feeling so exposed, just in my G-string, oil all over me, another squirt of oil and vinegar, and beads and crystals and all sorts of stuff. They're like slipping and sliding all over my stomach. And I'm going, he never like touched anywhere around my breast, but it was all, he was massaging around my stomach, around my shoulders, into my arms, down my legs. And I'm like, man, this is so intense. I have never felt anything like this before. And the whole time he's doing this, he was getting me to breathe or to like So he would tell me like, breathe fast or breathe slow or take deep breaths, say your name. Like, as he would go, say Lisa 3 times. So I'm breathing and he's massaging and he's pressure pointing. I'm going, Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. And I got to a point where I just was like, oh, fuck this, just surrender, just let go. I felt like a piece of meat. Like, I literally felt like almost where you get to such vulnerability that just do what you have to do, because I felt like I was just a vessel. I felt like there was no, when I say vulnerable or exposed, there was no like exposed where I didn't feel safe or I didn't feel, it was respect. It was beautiful. Like, it was honestly incredible, but I felt so exposed where I felt almost like I was just this vessel housing my soul, and this vessel had blockages. This vessel was stuck, and he was releasing energy out of my vessel, and he was releasing stored emotions, stored trauma, stored fears, stored blocks, stored limiting beliefs, and they were all coming out of me. And I got this point, I just surrendered. I laid there and went, just do what you have to do. And I'm laying there, I've kind of relaxed into it a bit. I sense like he wasn't doing anything for a moment. Because at times he's going around like with gongs or different instruments, and I just relaxed. And then all of a sudden, I have no other words to describe it, I felt like he punched me in the guts. I felt like his hands come down, and I just felt this big like whack straight in my stomach. I've sat up like I'm winded, and as I've sat up, I've let out this big like a almost like something come out of me. I cannot explain it. And then he made me om. I've never ommed so much in my life. It just kept going and going and going. And as I'm omming, and as he was getting me to like breathe, like it was almost like that oceanic breath that comes deep from within your throat. It was like these, what's the word? Almost like these human primitive sounds that I've never experienced before were coming out of my throat. Like something primal was being released out of me. It was the most powerful experience I've ever had in my life. And I said to him, I said, did you just hit me? And he goes, shh, we're not done yet. I'll tell you at the end. So I just had to surrender in there some more, let all this stuff come out of my body. And then I had to sit up on the edge of the bed. He's popped a towel around my shoulders. And as I've sat up and he's put his hands on, released my shoulders a bit more, put his like fingertips, like wrapped his hands around my skull and pressed into my skull, like the most intense pressure. But then as he's released, it was almost like this big relief. Then I'm sitting there going, oh, thank goodness. I think it's over now. Next minute, he cracks my neck. You know when someone grabs, you see in a movie and it's like they're necking someone. He grabbed my head and he like cracked my neck, and I was like, because he said, take deep breath. I took a deep breath, relaxed, and he cracked my neck. And then he goes, take another deep breath. And I'm like, shit, I know the other side's coming now. And I couldn't, it took me a bit. I had to compose myself, take another deep breath and just let go and surrender. And he cracked the other side. And these fears went through initial fears went through, how am I going to wake up tomorrow? What if he's done some damage? Like, I've never had anyone do that before. And I was freaking the fuck out. And then I'm like, Lise, compose yourself, breathe. And I just breathed into it and relaxed. And then he said, drink this, and gave me some concoction to drink. Eat this, gave me like mango to eat. It was the most delicious mango I've ever had in my life. And I sat there and I just felt complete release, complete surrender. Like all these things I've been carrying in my body for years. I think other people's energies, other people's negative, my own limiting beliefs, fears, blocks. Like it was like this big release. My body felt so pure, so raw, so vulnerable, so it was almost like a new vessel. I have no other words to describe it. And we went through this session, and look, I woke up the next day fine. Like my body felt absolutely incredible. My neck was fine. I have never felt so much freedom in my neck. It was just so beautiful. And I felt amazing. But then afterwards, we were sitting there talking, and he was talking to me about, he just knew stuff, right? And he was talking to me about the energy I bring at home, talking about like my marriage, how that balance of masculine and feminine energy. And so he was literally holding a mirror up to me, telling me these things that I knew I needed to work on, bringing them to light, that I needed to surrender into a little bit more feminine and let go of a lot more control at home. He was telling me things around what I need, around finding my purpose. He kept saying, like, he said, what's your name? I said, Lisa. He said, what does that mean? I said, it's short for Elizabeth. He said, it's time to step into your queen energy. And he said, it's time for you to open your heart. He said, there are a lot of blockages in your heart and in your stomach that I released. And he said, what good is it if you have gifts and you don't share them with the world? You may as well not have them. So he opened me up to looking at my gifts, looking at what I'm meant to do in the world. He stripped me back raw to almost like taking away these layers and these fears of, it's time for you to stand up in your power. I walked away from there and I felt incredible. I walked out and I was like, what the hell just happened? But I also walked away from there, and my friend was outside waiting for me on the scooter. He goes, Lisa, you look different. He said, you look light, you look more Balinese. And even the girls said to me, they go, you look amazing. And it's like he lifted so much denseness, so much heaviness out of me. But I went through that integration period. I went and met Tom. We went to the W at Seminyak. It was incredible. And I literally laid around on the sun lounges, on the day beds with him for 2 days, went to read my book, and I literally slept. And it was like I had an integration period where the energy in me was amplified. I was so heavy. I went and did a yoga practice at the resort, and I'm like, felt so heavy. And I'm like, Lise, what is wrong with you? Seriously, I felt so heavy. But it was like this integration period where I had to sit with the heaviness and then release it through my body for 2 days. I felt so tired. After that, I felt next level incredible. I went and had colonics when I got home, and so it's like everything has been cleansed out of my body, physically, internally. It's like I have been amplified with this energy of love. I looked at Tom with different eyes. The intensity of passion, of intimacy, of love, of connection was amplified when I went and met him afterwards. It was like I looked at the world through a lens of new perspective of love. The people that I would meet in Bali, see in Bali, I saw them with a whole new level of love, and the fire in my hands was amplified. It was intense. I was like, I don't know if I could bring women. This is not for the faint-hearted. I said to him, if I had read this in the brochure, I would not have come, because this is not for the faint-hearted. But there are people out there that would just really benefit from this kind of a healing practice. And it has honestly opened something up really new in me. This rain is picking up. Let's see how I go finishing off. The rain is coming through now. If you jump on YouTube, it looks intense. There's a sailboat behind me. The ocean's starting to rock a bit and pick up. The rain's coming through, but I'm just going to keep going, whatever. I love sitting in the rain. I'm almost done. After that, I picked this card up this morning, right? And it says, be in the world and not of the world. It says, it is safe for you to become naked with life. And that is how I felt in this healing session. Like, it made me feel safe to be myself. And it made me strip me back to being so raw and so vulnerable that it's time for me to just be myself. And it says in here, this oracle comes to with a message to you. Sometimes we need our defenses, at other times it's clear we're outgrowing them. there is something that you've outgrown. It has to do with your ideas about productivity, time, control, money, abundance, and trust, and the fundamental belief that everything is okay. You are ready to be much more vulnerable and exposed in life. You don't have to hide anymore. And that is literally how I felt in that healing session. It's time to get so raw and so vulnerable with life. And after that, I drove around yesterday. I got home. I went for my colonics, and I went to go and stock up on fruit and veg. And as I get in the car, Firework was playing on my Spotify. And I was listening to the words driving around, and I put it on repeat. And I really encourage you to do this, you guys. And I listened to the words over and over and over again. And I felt like I've stepped into my power. I felt like something has been stripped away from me, and it's time for me to be that light or be that spark in the world. And if you haven't, put that song on repeat and listen to it over and over. The words are absolutely magical. And I drove around for half an hour listening to that song and letting it open up in me. Then I listened to one of Ruby Lee, who I love. I listened to her podcast, and her podcast episode was all around, she said, in this episode, sometimes it was around stripping back layers and opening up into your true self. And she said, sometimes you'll see a rainbow or a little glimmer of a rainbow, and you walk outside and you think, I don't think anyone else can see that. I think that rainbow is just meant for me. As I've listened to that line, I've driven home. A big white eagle was sitting up on the power lines. I watched it take off. I drove around the corner. There's a glimmer of a rainbow in this cloud. Like, you can see, it was beautiful, this little rainbow. And I'm like, that is just for me. Like, this is the universe speaking just for me. As I've watched it, I pulled over and filmed it. Katy Perry's song Firework was playing, and it said, after a hurricane comes a rainbow. It's like all of these signs are lining up. It's felt like I've had this big cleanse and this big release, and it's time to strip back naked all of the things that have been holding me back. And I've restored myself with the colonics, with all of my fresh fruit and vegetables. I felt like I've restored myself with the healing session that I've had. And all of the girls have walked away feeling that they have been restored, nourished in their own way as well. I said to them, we were talking on retreat, and every single one of them has a story. Every time I have, a group of women on retreat, everybody has a story, right? Everybody has something that they're wanting to overcome. They're wanting to heal. They're wanting to learn, evolve, and grow. And like one of my girls, for instance, she had come there she tragically just lost her sister in an accident. And when she came, she felt like she was a shell of a person. I could see it in her. She'd lost her spark and lost herself. And by the end of retreat, she got her light back. She got herself back. And she said, even speaking to my husband on the phone, my husband said, I feel like the old you is back. And I've had other girls that have said, I found myself. I found what I was looking for. There's a freaking massive ass rainbow as I'm speaking to you right now. It is beautiful. You can't see it, but there is a big rainbow as I'm sharing all of this with you. This is your sign too, girls. This is my sign and your sign that we are on the right track. We are on the right path. There is a part of you, one day I would love to have you on retreat. There is a part of you dying to come out. There is a part of you that needs healing. There is a part of you, like I have so many women that just go, I'm just burnt out as a mum. I have lost myself. And they get to the end of retreat and they go, I've rediscovered a part of myself that I've kept hidden, that I've buried deep down because I've been taking care of everybody else. There is another woman that had on retreat opened up like this new level of self after healing trauma. There are women that come on retreat that are mending broken relationships or wanting to find themselves after a relationship. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a reason. Girls, like, don't ever feel guilty for doing something like this for yourself. What holds most women back is the fear of spending money on themselves, the fear of investing time in themselves, the guilt of leaving their family at home, the guilt of how can I do this for myself? And I'm like, how can you not, girls? How can you not do something for yourself? Because when you nourish your energy, when you protect your energy, when you give yourself time and space to open up into just stripping back the layers, to being so vulnerable, so raw, so naked with yourself, that you strip back the layers of control, the layers of guilt, the layers of shame, the layers of the mask that you've been carrying. You find this part of yourself that is dying to come out. You find this part of yourself that your family need, you need, the world needs. But sometimes you have to step away from the rat race, step away from the noise, step away from everything to find your light, to find your rainbow. This rainbow that I'm looking at, I'm gonna have to turn the camera around and show you guys. This rainbow that I am looking at is magnificent. It is seriously, if you're listening to this and you can't see the rainbow, that's okay, jump on YouTube and have a look. But it is just beautiful. It's like this light at the end of the tunnel. It's like these beautiful rays of, girls, it's time to let your light shine. It's time to let you open up into the woman that you are meant to be. It's time for you to find that spark of your firework. It's time for you to be your real, authentic, vulnerable self and let your light shine bright, and let go of the fears, let go of the limiting beliefs. Just like I had to in Bali. I had to step away. I am lost in this rainbow right now. I had to step away, and I've never seen a rainbow so bright. I feel so emotional, just the transformation in the girls, the transformation in myself, and I want that transformation for you. I am telling you, at some stage, come on this retreat with me. Open up to do the inner work on yourself. Open yourself up to do the healing. Open yourself up to find that light bright within you, because she is amazing. She is powerful. She is beautiful. Like, I've had women say to me on retreat, riddled with fear about, I know I need to do this next thing, but I'm stuck in my job because I am scared. If you are scared, you are going to stay in that safe, comfortable place for the rest of your life. And I said to her, I said, what do you see in me? And she rattled off all these amazing things that she saw in me. I said, they're within you. If you see them in me, they're within you. So girls, what you see in me, what you see in other women, it is your potential. Just like what I saw in these other women that I was scared to see in myself, it lied deep within me, and I got forced to bring it out. And you can do it by force. You can do it by stepping into something that you're nervous to do. And guess what? Everything that you want is on the other side of fear. Everything is on the other side of control. Everything is on the other side of you lifting up those glasses of perspective and going, you know what? I'm going to open myself up to see the real, raw, and vulnerable me. You don't have to do it via going to a healing session like I did. You can, but it's made me come out of retreat, and it's made me look at everything and go, you know what, Lise, it's time to open yourself up to doing Reiki healing sessions. It's time to open yourself up to doing all of these things that you've wanted to do at the studio, but you're too nervous to do because it's a bit different. It's a bit woo. It's time for you, just like the healer said, what is the point, girls? I'm talking to me and I'm talking to you. What is the point in having these gifts, in having these talents, in having these abilities if we don't share them with the world? He said to me, he said, they're useless. If you keep them to yourself, you block your heart and you block the hearts from other people. They are useless unless you share your gifts with the world, unless you share yourself with the world. And that is what I want to leave you with, my friends. I hope you come with me on retreat one day. I would love to have you there. You'll come in your own time and place when you are ready. I hope you've taken one thing out of that episode. The rain stopped. I've sat here recording. The sun's coming out now through the rain, but it's just been beautiful. It's another way of cleansing, and sometimes that inkling inside of us wants to run and get out of the rain, but I think, nope, I'm just going to sit in it and embody those beautiful healing powers of Mother Nature, enjoy her elements, because it's beautiful, as are you, my friends. All right, I'm going to go and enjoy this rainbow. It is still there. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Put on Katy Perry's Firework on repeat over and over and over. Belt it out as you drive around and feel that spark, that firework start to open up in you, angels. So much love to you. I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye.